I looked at it for like a second, and I don't have the photo here, but yeah, I looked at it for a second. Hello everyone, my name is Jaya. I like to talk about art, design, teaching, and storytelling. Today I want to talk about exercises to help drawing from imagination. I would like to make another extra video in the future about this obsession of drawing from imagination. It's an interesting pursuit about it. But for now, let's talk about exercises to help drawing from imagination. Trying to chase the drawing from imagination, trying to draw everything from imagination can be a bit misplaced, but there's still a need to draw from imagination. And say, when you're doing thumbnails, you don't run to find, I need a photograph to, draw thumbnails or draw a starting sketch, that kind of thing. Drawing from imagination is actually also a lot of drawing from your memory bank, your reference bank, the information you know and need, and applying the information in the form of drawing with the additional supplement of your or you already know how to draw and your own art style and your experiences and stuff like that. This is my first draft on what I think drawing from imagination or memory needs, all the ingredients. First, you need a baseline of drawing anatomy knowledge, followed by some real life context, because imagination is rooted in real life in that way. Your experiences, your memories, your knowledge, your psyche, your opinions, etc. Then you also have your own art style and methodology, your way of perceiving or observing the world around you, which also relies on real life. And then the end is your what ifs, which also relies on real life context, like what if a bear is as big as an elephant, that kind of thing. And then how are you gonna go about drawing that? So for now, let's look at it as you're looking to improve your real life memory and stuff. Like in your mind, you know how certain things will look like when drawn on paper, and you can depict it as such. 5 exercises. These are the exercises that are actually from Nicolaides, The Natural Way to Draw. But I'm putting them here because I think these 5 are actually really good at building memory, building what you know in your mind, so you can more easily draw out stuff more, rather than having to run and find a reference every single time. But of course, reference is still very important. If you don't know how to draw a certain thing, you have to use reference. If somebody tells you to draw the skyline of Singapore and you have no idea what it looks like, you cannot just draw it from imagination and expect it to be correct. That's one situation. So the first exercise, daily composition. I won't be reading all of this. You can pause the video to read it, and I'll be showing a demonstration of it later. But basically, it's taking experiences in your head, imagining a scene, and then drawing it as well as you can in gesture form. So daily composition, exercise that Nicolaides recommends to do daily. This basically taking what you see or what you remember, what you saw, maybe people queuing up for the food, buy their food at the food court, or people sitting down waiting for the bus, that kind of thing. Trying to recall that in your mind and then trying to draw it as best as you can, usually in the gestural form. What I saw recently, or maybe you can do something very easy, is people queuing. People queuing, sure. Hands here, that kind of thing. I remember there might be a table here, there might be a table here. I remember the table is like this, the food court is like that, and the store is maybe here. And this is very rough, it's just, trying to get you out of the rut of always using references. So you just try, this person is making the food, and then here's the entrance, they're waiting here, one more person behind him. So all just really gestural. It's not say, it might not even make sense the first time you do it, because usually gestures are very hard to see if you are inexperienced, but just let your pen fly freely and just do something. There was a vent here, maybe vent in the vents. And then this is the next store. Maybe somebody was sitting here. And of course, all this I draw are probably anatomically not too correct. Maybe perspective is wrong, but just let your pen go freely and just try and draw something. Try and draw something, and try and do this a lot. Get your pen pencil very loose. Just try and draw something from total imagination. Also, a knight holding a sword standing on a hill, that kind of thing. So just try something. So just just go 3D a bit. And I see in like less than like 5 minutes I already did something here. Yeah, we have social distancing markers here. You have another table here maybe. So a bit of a mess, but it's kind of like the spirit of it, where you're trying to be more loose and not too rigid with your reference, or say, oh, I need to find a reference for this kind of thing. Just try something and let it loose, and then see from here. This can be a very good thumbnail kind of style. Yeah, this is for daily composition. And now reverse poses is really good if you want to break away from a reference. You're still relying on a reference a lot. You can very easily try to do something with a reference as a starting point. So reverse poses, this is something you can do in form of gesture, or go all the way and really try and draw the pose from the mirrored view or the reverse view. I think I'm really quite bad at this, but let's see. I'm going to do the gesture view. It's here in this way. The pose is not that bad because the arms are basically symmetrical, but yeah, holding on to like that. Maybe it's. Oh no, I'm looking at it too closely. Reverse it. So I'm just showing you how I try and do it. All the mistakes I make along the way. Oh, it looks too long, but yeah, like a reverse mirror of it. In terms of gesture, you can bring all this even to something even more finished. You can try and do it totally in reverse. You don't flip this picture. You don't flip this picture, or you flip it in your mind and you try and draw it out your way, and it's a bit off for sure, but yeah, it's a gesture, quick gesture. So this is reverse poses. Flash poses, this will also improve your memory. Showing it very fast, a photo or even the model, showing it like 3 seconds, 1 second, then you try and your best to draw what you saw. And now flash poses, where you look at the pose for a short amount of time. The model runs up to the podium, poses for like 1 second, and then runs off. I'm gonna try and do one. I looked at the photo and I'm not looking at it anymore. I looked at it for like a second, and I don't have the photo here, but yeah, I looked at it for a second. I remember hands on hips, and then other hand just goes down. Luckily, it's a very easy pose, right? But you can always experiment with more complex poses. Like this. Yeah. So you can actually do a lot of these really quickly and really try and your best to become more loose and trying to draw without reference more in that way. Trying to not rely on, oh, I want to draw a certain pose, but I need a photo because I can't remember. But of course, in the end, if you still need reference, like I keep saying, if you still need reference, you have to use reference in the end. But yeah, this is what I remember from the pose. It's like a hand on hips thing. Very easy one. There can be more complicated ones, but yes, this is, well, flash poses. Descriptive poses, which would help if you want to do a comic, when the art writer gives you a script, and you can think of, oh, what you visualize when somebody describes something to you, and how do you draw it. And now descriptive pose, where actually, like the way I described in the flash poses, the way I'm describing it to myself is how I remember it and how I'm gonna draw it. So that if I start saying things like a guy is sitting, he's sitting, start with the head here, he's sitting down, he has this way, maybe in perspective, his legs are crossed, looks a bit small, like a little kid, a baby. Hands are on his knees. He's looking this way. He's sitting on, you can even go further. He's sitting on a cushion or some sort, a mat. And yeah, from here, a lot of this is rooted in gesture, but you can always, take this and go ahead more and go, yeah, I want to flesh this out more. But yeah, this is something you can really try and do, which is descriptive. You give yourself like a script and go like, okay, he's sitting on the mat, his hands are on his knees. Try a little messy sketch, try and see. Memory poses, which is where you try to remember, let's say you don't draw anything yet, you're shown 5 poses, each pose for like a minute. You try to remember each pose, and then you draw all 5 without the model there anymore. Memory is kind of hard to show, but like basically 5 photos, you look at it for a minute each, and then you just try and draw what you remember. In that way, it's like an extended flash pose, but you're shown 5, and then you have to try and recall the 5. I don't know how to best show it here, but yeah, maybe let's just go through the common poses. A guy with his hands on his hips, something like this. hips, and then you have the next one, a guy swinging a sword or something. The sword is here. Oh, like this. Something like that maybe. I don't know what kind of weird pose this is. I actually didn't look at the photo. I'm just just drawing loosely and messily a weird pose. Then maybe a guy lying on the ground. So this is basically the gist of it, you know. I hope these exercises will help you to start to build a reference library, a memory bank to help draw from imagination. Remember to always use reference when your library or bank fails you. You really cannot think about how to draw it. You have no idea. Have a backup of photos ready. You don't need to have a clean reference. You don't need to have very high res photos actually. You can actually have your own reference bank. You can take your own references. You don't have to sink a lot of money into like, oh, I need very high res photos and stuff. Actually, you don't really need them, I feel. You can actually take your own photo, which is, you know, you don't even need a perfect white drop background, that kind of thing. And now we've reached the end of the video. Check out my website article in the link below for any information I might have missed in this video. I think I already copied and pasted most of what I wrote there into this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Comment on what you think drawing from imagination is to you. How you feel about it. Do you pursue it very religiously? Do you want to draw everything from imagination no matter what? Is it an ego thing? Is it a flex thing? Let me know what you think.